Rex Stevens pinch hitting again for decathlete Paul Tarek. Adam Melhuse. Adam, nice to have you in studio again.
Thanks for having me.
You'd almost think this is an Olympic year for Paul, seeing as he's missing so often, but guy's just gone. He's taking the month of July off, and we've been fortunate here on Living the Run to have you fill in for him a couple times. We're coming off of a 33rd annual SLO triathlon this week. A lot of fun. As I was driving over here today, a ton of people out there, Adam. It's a great time of year, great weather, sun is awesome, and, people are not making excuses. They are getting out there. Saw runners of all kinds, trekking up that Johnson Hill, saw a couple people in different spots, and it just seems as though people are getting it. Out here is one of the greatest places to live for doing outdoor activity.
That's what Oprah said, right? Something like the second happiest place on earth, or some first happiest, something like that. So.
Yeah, first happiest, I think, in North America, and for a lot of reasons, and one of them being, this environment is tremendous. It was kind of a cool thing. I got to take both my sons on Sunday after church, just standing right there in about the middle of the Johnson Hill, and that Johnson Hill is that epic spot for the triathlon here in San Luis Obispo. It's kind of the claim to fame. You're getting close to the end, and you kind of run that hill. And I had both little guys out there high-fiving some folks as they came through. And, kind of just a neat deal for kids to be able to see what's going on, to see people participating. They saw the old, they saw young, they saw some people walking up the hill, they saw some people moving pretty darn fast. And regardless, they saw people participating. And that was kind of a neat thing.
No, definitely. That brings me to one of my favorite quotes. Dead last is greater than did not finish, which trumps did not start. So, hats off to all those people, entering that and to participate and to grind it out. I didn't do it, Maybe one day, hopefully I can muster up the motivation to do something like that as a personal challenge and see if I can't complete it. Eric Burns' records will be safe. I'm not going to challenge his records at any time soon. So, but no, it's a great event, and like I said, hats off to all those people who participated.
Yeah, you can follow us on livingtherun.com. Somebody who's also setting up an awesome event, which hopes to be an annual event, is Samantha Pruitt. She's got that ex-couch potato, turns ultra woman, and she's been all over the place doing some pretty cool stuff. She was at Western States not long ago. She's continuing to enter more and more events. She's kind of showing how it's possible to have not been doing much, but then to not only, get off the couch, but to, really check out her potential, to see what she can maximally do. Very cool. So I know that they sold out this last year, this last April, in the SLO marathon and the half marathon. I think they ran that 5K as well on the Saturday. They've already opened up the entry for next year. So people, if you didn't get in this last year, it was a tremendous opportunity. The energy was awesome. I can't remember. I believe it was around 2,000 half marathoners. It was fantastic stuff. And the expo at Madonna, the setup, super encouraging. And, a team thing. This whole thing is about that. A couple cool things. Probably the coolest thing I saw out there in this SLO triathlon was a guy, he looked like he was over 80. I believe he was. I looked it up on the results. There was 3 guys over 80 years old that participated in this thing, and it was pretty darn neat because he looked like he was running with his son, who was probably in his 60s. And here they are cruising up Johnson. What an awesome task. And that was kind of the team thing. Dad and son running together. And that's what's cool about some of these events is it's a team deal. You got teams. You may have a relay, but you may be an individual with fans on the side giving you that support, encouraging you to get to push that body to the next limit.
Well, definitely. And as you're saying that, I'm just kind of thinking, how does one get started in something like that? As I made that comment earlier, I'm sitting here going, yeah, you're really going to try this, but I'm thinking, how would I even get going? And I'm sure there's other people out there who's probably thinking, we're encouraging and we're getting off the couch, we're getting ready, but where do I start? I even now I get into a gym sometimes and I get lost, or out on a run. It's like, how long am I going to go today? Well, why am I only going to go 3 miles? Why didn't I go 4? I should have maybe went 5. How do you how does one get started? That's what's got me, and I'm sure people are wondering. You start somewhere, yeah, but where? Where do you start?
A great story there. We actually got we had said last week that Dean Karnazes was going to be on this week, and he actually had to postpone till next week. So Dean Karnazes next week. I think about that when you say, when did you get started? He talked about in his book, Ultra Marathon Man, Confessions of a Nighttime Runner, going to the bars. He was, had too much to drink. Things were not going the right way, and he decided, why not now? So he decided to run from San Francisco, the bars, to Half Moon Bay.
Wow.
He goes 30 miles on the first one, but it was a start. And I think Bernsey actually a couple weeks ago when you were here said it best, put something on the calendar. And one great thing about this area is we have so many options. There's stuff in Morro Bay, Santa Margarita. We got San Luis Obispo. We got, the half marathon City to Sea coming up in the fall. It's just endless amount of events to participate in. And, the thing I was thinking about when I saw the guy 80 years old, 80 plus, going up, I wonder if he's done all 33 of these. There's been 33 now in SLO, and he's probably participated in each one. He's probably doing what you said, hey, what do I do? Hey, I'll put it on the calendar. Every year, come July, I put it on the calendar, and I'm just expecting that I'm going to participate. And that's probably the first step in this thing. Yeah,
you definitely have to make yourself accountable somehow, whether, if you're just solo and you don't have a running partner or a training partner or anything, the calendar. So, whether it's an event like that or just an event in general, like a family reunion where you want to go and look good at the reunion and lose some weight, that might get you off the couch to go run a mile to start, and who knows where that'll go,
I love those motivational things, the summer beach body and so forth. But, there is more to the running than just the physique, that overall health. I think, our next guest that's coming on the line now, participating, and one thing I love about her, Barbara Joy Singer, is that every time she finishes, she's got positive mindset to hit the next goal. Right? She visualizes times. She visualizes what she will do the next year. And Barb, tell me if I'm wrong, but my gut says that you already have the time in your head that you're expecting in next year's SLO triathlon.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, Barb, thanks for joining us. You can find Barb on bjs-tri-sport.com. Tell us about the race, how'd it go, what was weather like? Traditionally, that later start time is not necessarily the best. Sometimes that wind picks up in the early afternoon, especially in the bike ride going out towards the wineries and so forth. But, I'm telling you, 11 o'clock when we were high-fiving, the boys and I on Johnson, it was blazing and still. What was weather like? How was the course this year?
Well, the course, it's a great course just in general, but I had an early time. I got in the pool at 7:15, so it was nice and cool when I started. And I had a great race. I have no complaints. Everything came off without a hitch. I think I saw one crash, but the ladies seemed to be okay, and that's another thing. They put enough volunteers on that bike course, so if you have a mishap, there's somebody on you within minutes, which was fantastic to see. There was an issue in the pool this year, and again, boom, lifeguards on site to take care of that situation. So I think all in all, for myself, I had a great race. I enjoyed the course. The thing about it is a sprint, so, you're pushing the whole time. It's in the title.
Hour and 20 minutes for you. That's a
yes.
PR, yes?
Yes, that was a PR this year, indeed.
Fantastic. And third place finish on the female side.
Yes.
Top 3. Got to be proud of that. And I'm
very proud.
You just continue to get better.
Yes, that's the plan.
Hard work pays off.
118 next year.
118. See, I told you. That's the thing, Adam, is that Barb's already got goals in mind. She's already got it on her calendar in July for next year, participating. But not only is it on her calendar, there's a goal. And for some people it's going to be a goal to compete, some to complete. But pretty cool stuff from Barb.
Yeah. Thank you. It was a good day.
Hey, Barb, so what's next on the calendar? I know we've been following you. You're a fan of Living the Run. And by the way, a great model of the tank tops for us. Thanks for doing that. If you haven't seen the tank tops made by Left Coast Tees, check it out. Barb is online doing those. Barb, what's next for you on the race calendar?
Well, August 18th, I will be traveling to Vermont. I'm competing at the USA Triathlon in Burlington, Vermont. I'm going to nationals.
So how do you get to nationals? Who qualifies? How many racers will be there? And what's the goal at nationals?
Well, let's see. I qualified. There's different regional races throughout the United States, and I was at Wildflower this year, and I qualified there by finishing 10th in my age group. Or, excuse me, 10th overall. First in age, 10th overall. Let me correct myself. And
that sounds
point,
better, by the way.
Yeah, right? Let me get it straight. And so, I mean, I got information on it and signed up for it, and so I've been trudging the road to happy destiny. I am going to go, and I have a goal there as well, so I'm shooting for about 220 or less. I'm aiming high there with 220, so I'm really trying to come in underneath that.
Talk about a little bit the difference in training style and mentality when you go to a sprint versus a little bit longer of a race. You know, you're talking about an hour and 20 minutes in this last race versus 2 hours and 20 minutes. So you can add an hour to it. Obviously, there's a difference in the training. There's a difference in the mentality going forward. What are some of those strategies? How do you approach the races differently with the different distances?
Well, I mean, I think with any race, it's a lot of it's mental. For me, 85% of it is mental. I mean, I can train my body, but if my brain is not connected, it's not going to do me any good. I really try to stay focused on what I'm doing in that moment. So it's training my brain and my body at the same time. As far as conditioning my body, I mean, I had to work up to this. It's something that has been built up over time, and it's, you know, I heard you guys talking prior to myself coming on there, and it was talking about how do you get to where you need to be. I mean, finding someone who can provide you with guidance. What I've learned over the past few months is I was going out and doing the same thing over and over and over. It was what I knew, and it was working, and it was working fine. But then I got connected with Dave Sullivan, and what he has done is he has taught me how to work fast, but be efficient. So perhaps work a little less. You're still going out, you're still putting the time in, but instead of working hard, which can be messy, it's about being efficient and finding balance. And so putting your workouts together in a manner that works for your body, listening to your body. If you wake up and you're tired, you should probably sleep a little bit. I got out one of the days, let's say a few weeks back, and I had a lot on my mind. I was tired, and I took a little spill on my bike, and it wasn't anything too traumatic. However, when I sat back and reevaluated, it was because I had too much on my brain and I was tired, and I probably should not have been on my bike. It's paying attention.
Hey, Barb, this is Adam. Nice to meet you, if that's possible over the air. I got a question. You talked about the mental aspect of it, and coming from a baseball background and not in a tri background. Baseball, they say, is 90% mental, and so I get it from a baseball standpoint. But from working out, in a tri, how do you kind of, I've heard the term kind of get out of your mind, so to speak. How do you do that? I mean, how do you train your mind? I mean, I know what the term is to get out of your mind, but how do you train to kind of get out of your mind as you're on a tough bike or a tough swim or a tough run?
Well, for myself personally, I just try to stay focused on my goal. I am a numbers girl, and so for me, I try to remember what my long-term goal is, whether it has to do with the time that I want to finish the race or if it's going on to the next one. And I just try not to get too bogged down in day-to-day stuff. And for me personally, it's staying in the moment. And that applies to whatever I'm doing, whether I'm on my bike or I'm with my child, Aiden. I am in that moment and enjoying it, trying to enjoy that moment, no matter how challenging it is.
One of my favorite phrases I hear is present time consciousness, and it almost kind of sounds like what you're talking about. I mean, you're so present with whatever you're doing. I know we had Zach Stevens in here about a month ago, and he's just a phenomenal young kid that made the Olympic trials as a high schooler. He qualified with a high school time when he was 15, did did phenomenal at the trials this year, and expect to see him in 2016 making a push in Brazil. He talked about taking note cards and posting them all over his room, with quotes, with sayings. His parents joked that they were all over the house at times. He'd been doing it for a long time. When you talk about visualizing numbers or having numbers in mind, do you have that kind of stuff? Do you verbalize it? I hear about people verbalizing it every day, people going through some meditative thing on it. What are you doing to think about that number, and how do you come to that number?
You just said it right there. I mean, I take that time and I sit down. I look at my splits. If I go out on a run and I'm doing something for tempo, I'm going to keep track. If I'm running a 5K pace, a 10K pace, a 15K pace. If I go out on my bike and I'm timing myself on a TT for 20 miles, I'm going to look at that. Did I come in under an hour? And the same, with swimming. So, there's a little math involved. So you fine-tune it. I have Dave Sullivan, again, he helps me with that. I'm lucky that way. But in the past, I tried to do it my own way, and fortunately, again, having this man help me, we can break it down together. So I can kind of give myself an estimation of where I am. Now anyone can do that. We can all go out and time ourselves and kind of figure out where we fit. And then it's funny, Rex, your wife, Molly, years ago, helped me with that when we went up to Wildflower. She's like, she asked me, what are you looking for? And we looked at numbers. And she said, you should, plan to be right there in the middle. And that's what I did. And I visualized it, and I saw myself in the race. I saw myself from beginning to end, getting in the water, doing the swim, T1, bike, T2, run, and where I was going to end up and what it looked like to me. A little bit of meditation cannot hurt. And then just keep saying it over and over. This is what I'm shooting for. You might hit it right on the head, and you might be a few seconds shy or above it. But either way, you're close enough. And I think that's what matters to me.
Hey,
and I did that, and I got really close.
Hey, awesome. Congratulations, Barb, on this, another great performance. SLO Triathlon, more improvement. You're a huge encouragement to listeners, again, who didn't hear your story before. You took one kind of poor lifestyle habit, you've changed it into something absolutely fantastic in fitness and in exercise. You're a leader in the community with that. You're fun to watch. It's fun to listen to. Energy's contagious. And let me tell you, people, follow her on bjs-try-sport.com. We will continue to post stuff on livingtherun.com, updates for her, as well as on Facebook. Good luck in Nationals. Do great. We look forward to hearing you after. Thanks for being a fan of Living the Run. Thanks for coming on, Barb.
Good energy my way.
Good energy your way. Okay. Awesome. All right, more from Adam Melhuse and I talking perseverance, motivation, and how to start getting into something that, like Barb Joy Singer has done, taking it to the next level and really living the run.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Since 1929, Standard Process has been dedicated to providing the highest quality whole food supplements. Their philosophy is simple: to provide nutrients as they are found in nature. Today, scientists are finding more and more evidence demonstrating the benefits of whole food nutrients over high-dose synthetic vitamins. Standard Process's unique products are sold through healthcare professionals who are trained in using whole food nutrition as the first line of defense for the body. Visit www.standardprocess.com for more information or to find a Standard Process healthcare practitioner near you.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, SLO Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at SLO Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, SLO Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
My name is Chris Randolph, and as a local track and field Olympic hopeful, I've been seeing Brian Quigley at SLO Wellness Center to help me with injury recovery during my season. Brian has not only helped me with some very extensive injuries, but has also educated me on the specifics of how my body moves when I compete. His knowledge and touch has helped me achieve personal bests in my competition and has also helped me in injury prevention. Becoming a wellness patient of his has helped me stop my injuries before they start, making time spent recovering shorter, leaving more time spent training for my goals. From injury prevention to wellness, Brian understands the patient and holistically helps them achieve their personal health-related goals. So check out Brian Quigley at peakperformanceslo.com and find him on Facebook and comment a response to this ad and get a complimentary 60-minute massage.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
We're back with Living the Run.
Good stuff. Adam Melhuse on Barb Joy Singer. A tremendous athlete. So fun to listen to. So fun to be motivated by. And she really gives you a pickup and makes you want to go out, lace up the shoes, and get a jog in. Get in the bike. Get in the swim. Just do something. Yeah,
that's awesome. And how she talked about setting the goals and stuff like that. I'm going to take something from her.
Absolutely. Hey, my next guest, I've talked about this the last couple of weeks. You can find more information about this on caringforchris.com. This is a golf tournament that's going on for a friend in former high school student that I went to school with. Chris Suji had some complications from a corrective moya surgery. Now requires 24-hour care. This is the 4th year these guys have put this thing together. They're trying to raise over $75,000 for Chris and the family going forward. I got a guy on the phone right now. His name's Eric Rabago, and he's the one kind of the genius behind this, raising money for this. And I know it's a tough thing. I wasn't exactly in the know so much at Lynbrook High School where these guys went, and 2,000 students and a lot of people, and I wasn't always in the mix. But it's a very interesting thing. The one thing I always remembered about Eric Rabago was this guy had as big a smile as you could ever see. You could see it from across the quad. Everything seemed to be, fun. He always seemed like he was laughing. The smile was huge. Eric, it is not a surprise at all to me that you're running this event. Thanks so much for joining us on Living the Run.
Hey, thanks, Rex. I appreciate you inviting me on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, was it always funny in high school, Eric? I mean, you did have a huge smile all the time. You always nothing seemed to rattle you, man. I mean, I didn't know you that great, but I'm telling you, all I remember is that big smile you had across your face all the time.
Yeah, just always trying to make a good situation out there in high school. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a little bit about this deal that you got started. It's clearly, right up your alley as a guy that's trying to make the best out of a difficult situation. I was thinking about this quote that we have at my house written down. My wife and I have been kind of going after is anything is possible in every day and in every way. And I know that you believe that, and I know that you believe that that's possible for Chris as well, and you're trying to support him. Tell us a little bit about this golf tournament, how listeners, either if they know somebody up in the Bay Area, would like to come up to the Bay Area, or would just like to donate to this special cause, let them know, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can visit our website at caring4chris.com, and Chris is spelled CHRIS. As you said, we're in our 4th year. So yeah, we're up to 98 golfers this year, about 175 people committed to dinner. So we still have a little bit ways to go to hit our goals. 128 players and over 200 for dinner. So, but yeah, anyone out here, actually I'm out here in the Bay Area, interested in golfing or even eating dinner, just coming out, supporting the cause.
Tell us a little bit more about the event. It's a golf tournament. How's the golf tournament going to go, and then what's the dinner all about?
So we have 2 flights in the golf tournament. They're all 2-person teams. Flight A would be best ball with handicap, and Flight B is going to be a straight-up scramble. So we kind of cover both bases here. You know, there's the golfers out there that are real competitive. They can play their own ball, and some guys that just like to come out and hit the ball around a little bit. They can play in the scramble fight.
And tell us about the dinner.
Yeah, as far as the dinner's concerned, you know, we're super kid-friendly. We have somebody coming out to twist balloons for the kids. We have a kid-only raffle that doesn't cost, you know, the parents anything. So every child leaves with a prize, and yeah.
Hey.
Dinner, silent auction, raffle, the whole nine.
Sounds good. And how much contact do you have with Chris? How often you see him, and you know, how are things going there?
Well, I don't actually see him as much as I would like to see him, but you know, I'm in touch with Mrs. Suji and Zach, his brother, and I see Chris maybe, you know, 3-4 times a year or so. Just actually saw him last month for his birthday, and they actually, I think the doctors switched up some meds on him, and he was more alert than I've seen him in a long time. So it was good.
Hey, good stuff. Let him know that we're thinking about him and want to support him here at Living the Run. Would love to, if you can send me your address, Eric, and I'll send you guys a shirt. I'll send a shirt for Chris as well.
Awesome.
New Living the Run shirts. And again, you know, guys, if you missed the website, it's caringforchris.com, caringforchris.com. Again, trying to support some things that kind of went awry in a corrective moya surgery, and he needs 24-hour care. And neat guy, and I'm just, you know, I like to bring this story on because, again, Eric, you're a neat guy. You made an impact on me, even though I didn't know you super well. The smile was big, and you know, I was excited to see you connected me to Grace Cho too. And she also had a huge smile. She was another one of those ones. Big smile. You guys seem loose, and it's that kind of attitude that helps people live the run. It encourages them, and again, anything's possible in every day and in every way. So, thanks so much for coming on, Eric. Any last things?
Oh, no, I just wanted to reemphasize the website, caringforchris.com, and if there's any questions at all, you guys can email us at caringforchris@gmail.com.
Thanks so much, Eric. Thanks for living the run, and again, give our love to Chris Suji and the family.
Hey, thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric. Hey, tough stuff there, Adam. I know, you know, when you got friends and you see, you know, not the best things happen to them, you want to support them in every way, and you know, it's funny. It kind of got me thinking back to some of the high school days. And like I said, I wasn't a guy who was in the social crowd per se. But, you know, you do remember people who just have that kind of kind attitude, that big smile. And although you might not have known them, they make an impact on you. And it's just one of those aspects. I was thinking about it when doing supporting the SLO triathlon this weekend. You know, when you run by somebody or you ride by somebody that has a big smile on their face, it lifts you up. It's a big deal, and in this case, you know, what Eric's trying to do is cool stuff.
No doubt about it. I mean, who wants to gravitate towards negativity or a frown? I mean, certainly not I. You know, I don't think anybody out there wants that. So, you know, and what they say is an infectious smile, if you will. And yeah, I mean, you know, I certainly see it quite often in my travels. Just sitting at the airport, kicking back, you're looking at people, just, you know, wondering where they're going, what they're thinking, and I mean, you can tell the people that are positive, upbeat people, and then the other people are just so miserable and negative, you know, without even speaking a word to them. You know, sometimes I'm tempted to just kind of get up and go tap them on the shoulder or something, say, is everything all right? You know, I mean, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You have no idea what they're going through, what's going on in their life, and you know, certainly like a tragedy like this that, you know, requires 24-hour care. I mean, that's probably tough to crack a smile, but you know what? You're still breathing. You're still here. You still have the opportunity. And, you know, I don't know if that's a smile material, but I think so. You know, I mean, I guess somebody might argue the opposite of that, but, you know, you're here. You're alive. You're still on the right side of the dirt, as I like to say. So you know what? You got an opportunity. Give it all you can.
Absolutely. You know, we don't want to be around those people that are arguing anyway.
No.
And it's a good one. You know, Molly and I have been just kind of trying to live and breathe by that quote. Anything is possible in every day in every way. So we hope the best for Chris Suji. Again, you're listening to Living the Run. You can find us on livingtherun.com. Here we are, ESPN 1280, The Ticket. I'm your host, Rex Stevens, in studio, again, pinch hitting Adam Melhuse. It's kind of interesting, you start to talk about the different levels of athletics. You've seen it, you played at the highest level in baseball. I think about these guys coming up in this triathlon, and Russ Levenway from Techtegrity, a guy here, local business guy here, who participated, I know, in the run. He kind of used Johnson Avenue as his Everest. He was kind of saying, hey, look, that's a big hill for the average person, the person that's not out there very often. And Russ is a good runner; he's running 7-minute miles. But what he was trying to say is it's tough to run a 7-minute mile when you hit that Johnson. There's that kind of at the bottom looking up and going, hey, that's where I got to get to. It's a perseverance thing. It's a motivation thing. It's a goal thing. But everybody's is a little bit different depending on the level they're at. No doubt. I mean, you got to find something to motivate. Like I was telling you before we came on the air, my second go-around, if you will, when I had retired, and then a month later was persuaded by the Pirates organization to give it another shot. So I went out to Indianapolis in AAA with them, and my mantra, or my thinking, if you will, was this is all just bonus or icing on the cake. I already had the career. Let's just see what happens. Did not work well at all. I was absolutely terrible, and it didn't bother me enough that I was terrible. It bothered me because nobody wants to do poorly, but it didn't bother me and drive me enough to do anything about it. And that's about the time where I said, you know what, I'm out of gas. Time to do something else. You got to want to have something move you, or whether it's a tragedy or something that's moving you enough to where you want to go make a difference. Yeah, I agree with you. If you're not having that drive, if something's not pushing you, if you don't have it in your belly, they talk about that, the fire in the belly. It's time to move on and to get to something different. Hey, I just want to real quick. James Calder was a 34-year-old that was the top male. So congrats to him. He went a 1:11.22. Kind of interesting deal. Another fan of Living the Run here, Van McCarty, was only 8 seconds behind. So that men's race was tight. Wow. Tight. 8 seconds when you're talking an hour and 11 minutes. That's not very much difference there. And then Tara Pepper came in at 1:16.09. And then again, our just interview earlier, if you missed it, follow it tomorrow on Facebook or on Living the Run. We'll livingtherun.com. We'll repost it. Barbara Joy Singer came in third place at an hour and 20 minutes. So good stuff from the SLO Triathlon. When we return on Living the Run, we'll talk Olympic preview. Talk a little bit more about perseverance, goals, and what we expect to see at the Olympics.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
When I was your age and we went camping, Grandpa always told ghost stories.
Were they scary?
They sure were.
Ooh, tell me one.
Create memories that your son or daughter will never forget. Take them camping, hiking, or fishing. But before you go, get everything you need at Four Seasons Outfitters.
Okay, let's see if I can remember one. Oh, yeah. A father and son were camping.
You mean like us?
Uh-huh. And not far from where they were was a spooky old shack.
Is that where the ghost is, Dad?
You'll find backpacks and tents, freshwater and deep-sea fishing equipment, campfire cooking supplies, guns and ammo, everything you need for your next adventure in the great outdoors.
Anyway, everything is quiet when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they hear a voice.
Hey, guys.
Ah!
What's wrong? I was just bringing marshmallows from the kitchen.
Even if the adventure is in your own backyard. Four Seasons Outfitters, your outdoor adventure headquarters for more than 25 years. 432 High Terrace, San Luis Obispo.
Hey, honey, can you leave the back porch light on?
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
The ultimate choice for sports massage in SLO County? Peak Performance. Conveniently located at SLO Wellness Center just blocks from Cal Poly is ready to assist you to reach your personal best. Calling all athletes and fitness enthusiasts. If you're ready to start alleviating symptoms by addressing the true problems, if you are seeking efficient and effective body work, then you can count on Peak Performance. Nagging injury, losing the bounce in your step, pain or tightness keeping you from training hard and reaching your goals? Raise your standards, raise your expectations. Call Peak Performance 543-8688.
Folks, when it comes to the health of my teeth, I will not compromise, and neither should you. It's time you go where my wife and I go. Go see Dr. Ryan Ross. I get it. Not everyone loves a dentist, and heck, even a few of you out there are scared to death of these offices. Bad past experiences? Well, you ever had a bad haircut? How about a bad meal somewhere? You didn't stop getting your haircut, and you certainly didn't stop eating, so stop ignoring your teeth. Dr. Ross's gentle approach, calming demeanor, and office full of upbeat staff put your dental fears to rest. Conveniently located in a great little house on Marsh Street downtown, Dr. Ross's office exudes the highest level of professionalism, mixed with an atmosphere much like your own home. Look, nobody's in a rush here. It's not a get 'em in, get 'em out atmosphere. Every time I'm in Dr. Ross's office, it's like I'm the only guy that matters. No distractions, just full focus on my oral health. If you're interested in the highest quality in dental care and want to walk out of the office every time with a smile, call Dr. Ryan Ross today, 541-5800.
We're back with Living the Run.
Hey, good show thus far, Adam. A great interview again with Barbara Joy Singer earlier. We'll look for her at Nationals. Again, you can find her at bjs-try-sport.com. Follow her along on Living the Run. You know, awesome time here. We got the Olympics coming up. Ceremonies on Friday. During the break, talking about favorite sport to watch in the Olympics. Or how about this? Any favorite Olympic moments? Those things that you say, hey, man, that was a great Living the Run moment. Somebody went above and beyond and did something pretty darn magical.
Well, the hockey. I mean, what year was that? That was way back in the day. I remember as a kid, but, you know, obviously didn't realize what was going on or anything. Just like, oh, yay, we won the medal, you know, type of thing. But, you know, obviously the story now, I mean, weren't picked to do anything, right? I mean, we and all of a sudden they get the gold medal. So that's a great story right there.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with producer Max Woodcock. He gets us all screwed up by talking about ice hockey, but we're talking about the Summer Olympics, and really it was about field hockey that our mind is supposed to be going to. You know, I think you got to go to Carrie Strug, and you know, I was talking actually to Mimi McKellar today, Central Coast Gymnastics. Again, you know, if you haven't been to Central Coast Gymnastics, it's a pretty darn cool place. They just picked up the floor from the Olympic trials in San Jose, installed that floor into their gym there. It's a great place. But I was talking to Mimi today about the Carrie Strug vault that she did, and the medal was on the line for the team. It wasn't the medal on the line just for her, but the medal was on the line for the team. Her ankle was a wreck. She couldn't even stand on it. And if you look at her, when she's standing at the start line for that vault, she's barely putting any weight on that thing. But the mental fortitude to say, you know what, I got to run on this thing. I got to jump. I got to do my vault. And it is going to hurt like the dickens when I land. But I got to stick it because there's a whole bunch of other people on that team. There's a whole bunch of fans. And I've got kind of America on my shoulders. She hits that thing, tries to put on a smile, but you see the tears starting because of the pain. And she sticks it. One of the best events I've ever seen.
You talk about motivation. You just went down a list of, you know, I'm trying to put myself there as you're saying this. And, you know, if it was me, your ankle's probably, you could feel your heartbeat in your ankle. It's throbbing so bad. But as soon as you realize this is all on me, you know, USA, my team and everything, suddenly that pain might disappear just temporarily. I mean, how else do you explain her to get through that? I mean, your ankle is that messed up. It's just adrenaline, and, you know, you've got that, like I said, that whole list of things you just rattled off as to how important it is. Motivation.
You know, the coach is funny. I once saw a video clip of that coach, and everybody knows that guy is a, you know, super emotional. He's a neat guy. You can tell how much he loves gymnastics. He loves those that he coaches. But
Was that Bella Carolla or whatever?
Yeah, Bella Carolla. He talks about running down the side as she's running, too, and he's probably yelling and screaming. And if you ever listen to that guy, I wish they had video of that where you could see him running at the same time. Really cool stuff, and he hugs and embraces. And again, what a tremendous team aspect. What a tremendous motivating thing. I always loved Carl Lewis. Carl Lewis was such an interesting runner because he was so fun to root for because he was always coming from behind. He's traditionally a slow starter out of the blocks, and you could just expect at that 50-meter spot, Carl's going to turn it on. And it was just like one of those things that there was so much anticipation as a viewer. You wanted so badly to see that happen. And you knew it was going to happen, but there was still that kind of butterflies in the stomach. Is it going to happen? Because he seems like he's behind and there's not that much to go. And here comes Carl Lewis out of nowhere. He was always one of my favorites.
Well, it was right about that time you jumped off the couch and started yelling, "Go, Carl, go." That's when he kicked it in gear right there.
They always talk, what was that old country song? I think it was Randy Travis saying something about the only thing that matters are your heroes and friends, right? And as a young kid growing up, I think that's probably pretty darn true. You had your buddies that you went around and you did whatever you did with, but you had heroes for whatever reason. And for so many of us, they revolved around the fitness, they revolved around the athletics, they revolved around sports. Guys and gals that were doing things that were so motivational. And again, next week I'm super excited to have Dean Karnazes on this show because, when you start to think about running 133 miles in Death Valley in the summer in July, just took place just a little bit over a week ago, finishing at Mount Whitney, the climb up Whitney. I mean, it just starts to almost boggle the mind. But you know what? It allows you to say, if Dean can do that, I think I can get out and, run 3 miles around the block, or I think I can get the shoes on and take a good walk, or I can hike up Madonna or what have you, or have those goals being set. So it should be a phenomenal interview. I just finished watching his documentary, 50-50-50, and pretty neat guy.
I can't wait. I mean, I keep saying motivation. I can't wait to hear. If I'm not here and I'm on the road somewhere, I'm going to listen to the podcast of what his motivation, what motivates someone to run 133 miles. I mean, man, and I keep saying motivation, and I get this picture in my mind, I was just recently in Pittsburgh, at this Gold's Gym with just some dudes, working out and stuff, and, most of them overweight and, just kind of, getting the biceps pumped up or whatever. But as I'm sitting there, attempting to get a workout in, going, okay, wait, I don't have to work out for Major League Baseball anymore. That's not my job. I'm healthy enough as it is right now, and, I don't eat terribly. Where's my motivation? So I thought about that and limped through a workout and went back to my room and kind of was disappointed in myself, going, I wasted an opportunity to work out, So, I think a lot of people might fall into that, where they get there and they get to a gym, or they put the shoes on to go for a run, and they end up just, walking, which isn't bad, but, it's like, I could have run, I should have run, I could have run. Somehow, some way you have to find, and I think we keep touching on putting something on the calendar, something to hold yourself accountable, so I know that I'm going to apply that as far as, okay, what's going to be my motivation's not my job anymore. That's not my job, is to work out. So my motivation now, maybe it's my kids, who knows, got to find something that, to like you say, you don't get that feeling in your gut to push on when you're running through, in a triathlon, and you're in mid-bike and your brain's going, all right, I've had enough. You got to push through, to get to the end of that thing. So something to motivate you.
If you can do more, I think is what you're saying. And why not stop? Go for what your potential is. I think that you kind of touched on it, not getting complacent at any time, and realizing that, the stimulus of activity, the stimulus of exercise really needs to be done daily. The thoughts on what you're putting in your mouth every day, really has to be thought about daily. And then, I thought Barb, where she hit it out pretty good, is really getting the mind right. We said present time consciousness. We talked about a little bit of meditation to keep that motivation, to keep that focus. And those things are big. When we return in the last segment, we're going to talk just a little bit about a couple local athletes for you guys to look at in the Olympics, especially in track and field. And we'll wrap up with tips and takeaways on Living the Run.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Since 1929, Standard Process has been dedicated to providing the highest quality whole food supplements. Their philosophy is simple: to provide nutrients as they are found in nature. Today, scientists are finding more and more evidence demonstrating the benefits of whole food nutrients over high-dose synthetic vitamins. Standard Process's unique products are sold through healthcare professionals who are trained in using whole food nutrition as the first line of defense for the body. Visit www.standardprocess.com for more information or to find a Standard Process healthcare practitioner near you.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, SLO Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at SLO Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals, too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, SLO Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
My name is Chris Randolph, and as a local track and field Olympic hopeful, I've been seeing Brian Quigley at SLO Wellness Center to help me with injury recovery during my season. Brian has not only helped me with some very extensive injuries, but has also educated me on the specifics of how my body moves when I compete. His knowledge and touch has helped me achieve personal bests in my competition and has also helped me in injury prevention. Becoming a wellness patient of his has helped me stop my injuries before they start, making time spent recovering shorter, leaving more time spent training for my goals. From injury prevention to wellness, Brian understands the patient and holistically helps them achieve their personal health-related goals. So check out Brian Quigley at peakperformanceslo.com and find him on Facebook and comment a response to this ad and get a complimentary 60-minute massage.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
We're back with Living the Run.
Welcome back to Living the Run. Again, follow us tomorrow, livingtherun.com or Facebook. If you missed any of the interviews, we had, again, Barbara Joy Singer on, third place in the SLO triathlon. She's headed to nationals. Awesome athlete. Hey, I want to talk about a couple local athletes. We got Stephanie Brown here from Arroyo Grande in this year's Olympics throwing the discus. She's the defending gold medalist. Last time in 2008. And then Sharon Day. Sharon Day went to, I met Sharon back in probably 2008, just before the Olympic trials then, and she went as a high jumper in 2008. She developed a little bit further and decided to take on the heptathlon. Spent the last few years, and she's U.S. national champ this year, going to the Olympics in 2012 as a heptathlete. So a couple great athletes, great local athletes to follow here.
Yeah, much luck to them, and we'll be watching and rooting them on, that's for sure.
Absolutely. It's got to be amazing going in as a defending gold medalist. Sometimes anytime you go in as a champion from the year before, the mindset's different.
Motivation.
Motivation. It seems like the big key word. I mean, talk a little bit about it. I know you've been on some good teams before, Adam. Talk about the difference between having kind of a bum year and being on a team that had a good year, and how that goes into the off season and the goals for the next year.
Well, I mean, it's huge. I mean, a bad team, come September, you're watching college football in the clubhouse, and you're wishing you could stay in the clubhouse and not, you're 15 games back, you're not playing for anything, except for, obviously your personal pride and stuff, but just the feeling in general is so much different from a winning team when you're out there, everything's rocking. You got guys picking each other up, meaning one guy makes an error, the next guy's like, all right, I got to get a big hit so we get another run, and so this guy's off the hook. And, I mean, it's awesome. It's huge. And then, I got a taste of playoffs in 2003, 2006. 2006, we got beat by Detroit. They went on to face St. Louis, I believe, and lost in the World Series. So we were close, and it was like, man, just to get to the World Series, rather, would be amazing. Never did, but close.
Close, and again, just constantly having goals, and I think you kind of hit it right on the head. Oftentimes when things are kind of down in the dumps, obviously it's a little bit harder to get motivated. It seems like you look around and there's not as many people there to build it. But when you've been doing well and you have that possibility and that potential, a little mistake happens, but people don't take it so hard. They just pick you up, they get behind you, and they get you moving forward, and it's good stuff. I think motivation for some of our listeners here, again, I just want to recap. Samantha Pruitt, she puts on a blog on livingtherun.com, ex-couch potato turns ultra woman. Her title of this last blog, If You're Going to Dream Big, or Go Back to Bed. Shoot, that's almost
awesome.
That's almost Burnsy-like.
That is.
That's Eric Burns material from a couple
weeks ago.
But
you know what? It's kind of a little off, because back to bed, that guy doesn't sleep, man. I'm telling you, he was. I think he slept standing up if he did.
Well, hey, next week we got another guy again that doesn't sleep. Dean Karnazes will be on the show. Kind of put Ultra Marathon on the map. He's been on every magazine. He's been on every show. Got a documentary, 3 best-selling books, and I think he sleeps about 4 hours a night. And he just kind of realized he didn't need a lot. Incredible stuff with how his muscles just don't break down at the same rate as everybody else. It's going to be a great interview. Those of you who are want to be inspired, you got to catch us with Dean Karnazes next week. Super excited about that. Real quick, tip and takeaway from today's show, Adam.
Motivation. Find it somewhere, somehow, in something, whether it's an unfortunate, tragic situation or just to set a new PR. Whatever it is, find some motivation.
I want to take something kind of from Barbara Joy Singer, who, she was so focused. She talked about that focus, that deliberate focus, if you will, visualizing numbers, having goals. And there was a quote that I read from Jesse Owens that kind of, in this Olympic times, I thought fit pretty good. He says, find the good. It's all around you. Find it, showcase it, and you'll start believing it. And that is just good stuff. And sometimes you got to write it down. Sometimes you got to say it out loud. Sometimes you got to have a friend that kicks you in the butt to get you going in that way too. But this is, it's good stuff. It can't be understated. And, hopefully one day here soon we're going to have Jeff Troche, sports psychologist, on to talk a little bit more about that. Anyway, Barbara Joy Singer, thanks for coming on. You have won the Jaffa Cafe gift card. Go to Jaffa Cafe, some of the best Mediterranean food on the Central Coast. Again, next week, Dean Karnazes. Thanks to producer Max Woodcock and pinch hitter Adam Melius for coming back in.
Anytime.
Live healthy, live bold. Come live the run.